Welcome to Kiki's Talk Buffet. Let's talk it out.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into a really interesting concept from your sources, incruel, which translates roughly to synergy.
That's right. It's all about creative cooperation, essentially. How we can achieve more together than we ever could alone.
And the core attitude behind it seems, well, quite profound. It's about looking at people you respect who see things differently.
And thinking, okay, wait, maybe they see something I'm missing, instead of immediately arguing.
Exactly. Valuing those differences, psychological, emotional, how people just, see the world differently. There's that quote in the text.
Oh, yeah, the one about if two people have the same opinion, one of them is unnecessary.
That's the one. It says, there is no benefit in communicating with those who agree. Only differences yield results. Strong stuff.
It really is, and it connects directly to, your desire for those aha moments, finding multiple perspectives. That's what synergy promises if we lean into the differences.
It reminds me a bit of that George Bush quote mentioned. On critical matters, unity. On major matters, change. On all matters, generosity. Synergy feels like the how behind that.
That's a good connection. It's like synergy is the operating principle.
Yeah.
And looking at the bigger picture of the source material, all the other habits discussed, they really seem to build up to this one.
Like steps on the ladder.
Kind of, yeah. Synergy is presented as the culmination, the real test of applying those other principles effectively.
Okay, so let's nail down the definition. The text says synergy is when the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Meaning that the relationship between the parts is also a component. But more than just a component, it's the part that stimulates, integrates, motivates. It's dynamic.
So it's not just 1 + 1 = 2. It's the interaction creating something more.
Precisely. That interaction is where the magic happens, generating something new. It's positioned as really the highest form of human activity.
The ultimate application of all these ideas. And it suggests this is how we tackle huge challenges, right? Unlock potential.
Exactly. It's not just about efficiency. It's about creating genuinely new possibilities, even when things look tough.
So where do we see this? The text gives some nature examples, like plant roots.
Right. Intertwining, improving the soil for both plants. That's a kind of 1 + 1 is greater than 2.
Or stacking wood pieces together hold way more weight than individually. 1 + 1 could be 3 or even more.
Yeah, simple physical examples. And the question then becomes, how do we translate that cooperative power we see in nature into our human interactions?
The text points to family life as a key area, raising kids, for instance.
And the core idea there is recognizing differences maybe between partners or even just our own strengths and weaknesses and using them constructively.
Leveraging strengths to cover weaknesses. That makes sense. The text mentions gender, spousal differences, social, intellectual.
All these variations, instead of seeing them as problems, see them as potential sources of, well, new ways of living, new solutions, sparks, really.
And this ties into personal growth, moving from dependence to interdependence.
Absolutely. Synergy fosters that journey. It helps build things like service, trust, generosity, the opposites of defensiveness and selfishness, which really can't thrive where synergy is happening.
Okay, let's talk synergistic communication. It's about being open to unusual ideas, but also contributing your own. It sounds a bit like it might conflict with beginning with the end in mind, but
But see, it actually reinforces it. Because you have this underlying confidence, this trust that by being open and exploring, you will end up somewhere better, even if you don't know exactly where at the start.
okay, I see. The end goal is a better outcome, and synergy is the path.
Right. But the text notes something interesting. We rarely experience this true collective creation, especially in personal relationships. We tend to be more closed off.
Yeah, maybe a bit suspicious sometimes. We leave potential untapped.
We've all had glimpses, though, that team spirit feeling in sports or maybe during a crisis.
Sure, those moments feel special.
They do. But the point is, they don't have to be miracles. We can cultivate them more often by taking some risks, valuing different views. Innovation needs that willingness to experiment, maybe even fail sometimes.
The university class example really brings this home. Leadership, philosophy, and style.
Yeah, that was a powerful story. One student shares something really honest, vulnerable.
And it just opens the floodgates.
Yeah.
Creates this atmosphere of trust.
Exactly. Suddenly others feel safe to share too. And the planned syllabus, the textbook, the presentations, they just kind of fell away.
They co-created the rest of the course. new goals, new assignments, even wrote a book together.
Incredible, right? It wasn't just luck, it was the students' readiness for something real, plus an instructor who acted as a catalyst, valuing practice over theory.
But it's not always smooth sailing. We've all been in collaborations that didn't work out so well.
For sure. And the danger is that those negative experiences make us put up walls, create rules that actually stop future synergy.
So how do we avoid that trap?
The text suggests courage, honest communication, even if it feels clumsy at first. That's often the key.
Let's shift to business. There's the example of co-creating a company mission statement.
Yes. Instead of top-down, it was built with everyone involved. Real consensus.
Which naturally leads to way more buy-in, I imagine.
Absolutely. And then there's the insurance company planning meeting. They changed the whole format.
Right, anonymous reports read beforehand, so people came ready to listen, not just talk.
Brilliant move. It shifted the focus entirely to creative problem solving. People got excited, opened up.
They found new insights, a shared understanding, and even ditched their initial plans for better, synergistic ones.
Yeah, it shows that experiencing synergy makes you want more of it. But you can't just copy the event. You have to cultivate the underlying principles: trust, openness.
Which brings us to those 3 levels of communication linked to trust. Level 1, low trust.
Yeah, and that means defensive communication, guarded, very careful wording, almost legalistic. People expect the worst.
Leading to win-lose or lose-win outcomes. It just reinforces the defensiveness. The text calls it an imbalance between production and production capacity.
Exactly. You're so busy protecting yourself, affecting production capacity, that you don't actually get the best work done, production.
Okay, level 2, respectful communication.
This is polite, mature. People are decent to each other, but they don't really dig deep into why others hold certain views, so they don't really explore truly different alternatives.
And this often leads to compromise, like 1 + 1 = 1.5.
Pretty much. Everyone gives a little. It's okay. It avoids big fights, no manipulation. But it's not creative, not true synergy.
So the goal is level 3, synergy, high trust.
And this is where the exciting stuff happens. Solutions better than anyone originally proposed. 1 + 1 originally proposed, 1 + 1 or 16.
Or 1600, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone enjoys the creative buzz, and it builds a culture that can actually deliver results and grow its capacity over time.
Right. It balances that production capacity thing.
The camping trip story illustrates this really well. Dad wants to camp. Mom needs to visit her sick mother. Classic conflict.
Initially, it's low trust. Win-lose positions. My plans are important. No, my family duty is important.
And compromise feels like a solution, but isn't always right. Someone feels resentful, guilty. The real needs aren't met.
Exactly. It can simmer and cause problems later. It's just a transaction, really.
But with synergistic communication built on that high-trust, win-win thinking, really listening.
They can find a third alternative. Maybe a different kind of trip, maybe involving others, something that truly meets both their deeper needs.
And that's transformative, not just transactional. It builds the relationship.
Totally. Then there's this idea of negative synergy reduction, basically stopping the waste.
Wasting energy on office politics, defensiveness, blame games.
Yeah, like driving with one foot on the gas and one on the brake, going nowhere fast.
And this often comes from insecurity. People trying to force their own way because they don't value other perspectives.
That's a big part of it. They miss that real strength, real unity comes from complementarity, from differences fitting together, not from everyone being the same. Sameness is, well, boring and unproductive.
Respecting differences is the essence.
It truly is. And it starts within ourselves, personal synergy, integrating our own logical side and our creative side.
Like the manager at the left brain, right brain seminar.
Exactly. He realized his communication problems at home stemmed from this disconnect. He was all facts and logic, left brain.
While his wife was focused on feelings, overall impressions, right brain, they weren't connecting.
It was like they were each using only half a brain in their conversations. But interestingly, they still managed to raise kids a basic kind of synergy. 1 + 1 = 4 in their case.
Yeah, right. But imagine the potential if they learned to value and bridge those differences.
That's the point. Value the different psychologies, emotions, intelligences, the different worlds people see, as the text says. When cooperating, it is important to value the different worlds seen through their eyes.
It's so easy to think my view is the objective one, and you're the biased one.
Oh, absolutely. The wisdom is knowing we all have limitations and biases, and being willing to learn from others. Like the saying, in a group of 3, there must be one who can teach me.
And seemingly opposite views can both be valid, right? Like those optical illusions.
Precisely. Psychological realities differ, which loops back to,
If 2 people agree, One is unnecessary. We need those differences.
Yeah. And the animal school fable drives this home beautifully, forcing everyone into the same mold.
Oh yeah, the duck failing running, the rabbit struggling with swimming.
The squirrel penalized for flying his own way. The eagle seem as disruptive. It's absurd.
And the only success was the mediocre eel who could do everything okay but nothing well, while the gophers who valued digging just left.
It perfectly illustrates how crushing conformity harms everyone and stifles real talent. We need to value unique strengths.
So how do we handle resistance in real life? Kurt Lewin's force field analysis comes in.
Right. You've got driving forces pushing for change and restraining forces pushing back. Logical versus emotional, often.
And just pushing harder on the driving forces often backfires, like hitting a spring.
Yeah, you get pushback. Synergy offers a different way. Use win-win. Seek first to understand. Really listen to the restraining forces.
Understand the resistance.
Understand the people resisting. Make them feel heard. Make the problem a shared one. That can turn resistance into momentum.
The text gives examples of resolving really nasty legal fights this way.
Yeah, even with super low trust and bad history. Applying these principles led to solutions better than anyone expected and saved relationships.
Like the land developer story. Stuck between the bank and community protesters. Lawyers everywhere.
Total gridlock. But by introducing win-win, understanding, synergy, they slowly opened up communication, found the misunderstanding.
And eventually reached a collaborative deal. Project moves forward, lawsuits dropped.
Exactly. It shows the power. Now, legal action has its place, of course, as a last resort.
But using it too early kills the chance for synergy, creates fear.
It can, yeah. Makes everything rigid and defensive. Nature is synergistic, interconnected. These principles work best together, too.
So synergy helps build positive culture in families, companies. More participation means more investment, more creativity.
Definitely. People feel ownership. They become more accountable. It feels like a key to real success.
But what if others aren't playing ball? We can't control them.
True, but you can control your own personal synergy. Respecting your own analytical and creative sides, that's always in your sphere of influence.
So keep trying, even when it's tough. Focus on what you can do.
Yes. Be brave. Express yourself honestly. Respect differences, even when you disagree deeply. Okay, interesting you see it that way. Genuinely seek that third alternative. Stick to win-win. Really try to understand.
Okay, so a challenge for you, our listener. Think about someone you often disagree with. Could those differences, approached differently, actually spark a third alternative? Maybe ask for their input on something.
Or, maybe list people who kind of bug you. Could a shift in your own mindset, more security, more respect for difference, change that dynamic? Could they become resources?
Where do you need synergy most right now? What conditions would help it grow? And what can you do to create those conditions?
And maybe next time you're in a disagreement, just try it. Consciously try to understand first, then look for that solution that works better for everyone.
Because finding synergistic solutions isn't just about solving problems.
No, it's about unlocking totally new possibilities, creating something bigger than any one person could have imagined. So go look for those opportunities. Actively cultivate them.
Every topic's got a taste, so like, share, and subscribe now. Your next plate's coming soon.